Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it right here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host Joe Habib, and we got a great show for you today. And if you want to call in, 570-530-8316. Let's get it started. DAZN, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. The rematch, 12 rounds, middleweights. This was not much of a fight, guys. This was a tough one, man. Conor Benn smashed Chris Eubank by unanimous decision. 119-107, 116-110, 118-108. I had it 120-106. Gave that last round. It was a 3-point round because of the two knockdowns in the last round. The fight was all Conor Benn, man. He did a great job with that jab, the work to the body. He really focused on the body here, and I really do think it paid off. Now, Eubank looked lethargic throughout the entire fight, and a lot of people were suggesting he was weight drained or overtrained, which I think is definitely, he definitely had the symptoms of weight drain. He looked like that, but a lot of that, I hate to take away from Conor Benn too, because he completely dismantled this guy, and that body work can't be overlooked. So if he was weight drained before that, that body work sure did not help at all, man. But I think Ben did play a big part in Eubank looking fatigued, to be honest with you. Eubank hit Ben. You know what struck me as odd, man, is first 4 rounds, right? He hit Ben with some solid shots. I mean, some real solid shots coming in. I mean, he hit him with a left hand coming in at one point. It was just flush right on his chin. And Ben just kept coming, man. And it was like his punches didn't have the same effect as they did last time. When you watched him this time, man, those punches, they may have been sharp, but they didn't phase
he was
Ben at all.
He was very flat.
Yeah, that's what he like. And you know what I noticed, Habib? When he walked in the ring, right? When Eubank walked in the ring, he's got this big fur coat on, and you look at his face, and there's no sweat. There was no warm-up. You know what I mean? Like, usually when you come in, you're sweating. You look like you've been already through 5 rounds or something like that,
Can I add something else?
Yes, please, yes.
He was probably so dehydrated that he couldn't probably sweat properly.
That's what we were talking about too, yeah.
I don't know if you were going to go there, but that's
that's a great point. But I looked at him, and he didn't look warm. He didn't look warmed up. And that's always a red flag for me, especially once they get in the ring. That's always a red flag. You should be like sweating, warmed up, ready to go. He didn't look like that. So, yeah, it was a tough night for Eubank, man. It really was. After the fight, Conor Benn said he wanted to face the WBC champ, which would be Mario Barrios, the welterweight champ. The problem with that is that he will be dropping down, Beeb, from 160 back down to 147. Now, his last 2 fights were at what? 160, right? Because those are his last 2 fights. And now he's got to go back down in weight, and that's not going to be easy because you fought here twice now at 160, and then to drop that much weight, you have to cut that much weight, and he looked good at 160. I'm not saying you should stay at 160, but what I'm saying is if he drops back down in weight, it could be an issue. Now, will it be an issue? I don't know. I'm just saying, some people, and Louis 45, I agree with you. Ben should stay at 154 and up. Yeah, I agree. 147 may be a bridge too far right now.
But he hasn't made 147 since 2022.
Yeah, but if he gets Mario Barrios and he can make weight, he's pretty much got the title in his bag, right? I mean, Barrios is,
he should, but again, I don't like going up in weight like that and then dropping back down the 2 weight class. Again, when he was off and he came back, he fought his 2 fights at junior middleweight.
Yeah.
So he has not made that 147-pound limit in over almost
in a minute.
3 years going into the
that's not an easy thing, man.
3.5 years, right?
That's not an easy thing, man. It's not. Especially for the weight, like I said, the weight he cut, and he still had to cut. I'm sure he still had to cut weight for this fight.
He's probably walking around at 170. So, and I was talking to Maestro about this morning, and we talk about why these guys are so inactive. I'll tell you why, in my opinion. I really started thinking about this. You got these guys who are cutting so much weight to make their weight class, and I don't think they have the physical capabilities to do it twice in a year. You can't lose 25 pounds or 30 pounds twice in a year and not feel the ill effects of that, right? So that's why I think you have these guys that take so much time off in between fights because the weight cuts are killing them. And this weight cut, in my opinion, definitely killed him. You could just see that he had all the signs of someone who was just totally flat, depleted. And people talk about, he's made 160 before. The guy's had, he's been a pro since 2011. He's been a pro for 14 years. 2 of those years he fought at super middleweight. But if you look at his career, right, he only officially made the 160-pound limit for 14 fights. All those fights early in his career, he was like 164, 163, 162. So he really never, to me, made this weight comfortably because he turned pro at 164 pounds, right? So he was always like tight at the weight. And the older you get, obviously common sense will tell you the harder it's going to be to make the weight, and it's going to be a murderous cut. So it's crazy for a guy who's made so much money in the ring, right? He's made so much money in the ring. He's made so many bad moves in his career. He should have. He goes up to 168 and then he comes back down. And that was like in 2019 when he decided to come back down. That's when he had the falling out with his dad because his dad was like he that was one of his big complaints. He's like, you can't go back down to 160, and I believe that's part of the reason why they had that falling out because they had a disagreement on that among other things.
Let's talk about it. I mean, because like yesterday, you and I were talking about that fight. How much of yesterday was weight drained Eubank versus, people are saying today he was just a shell of himself and this and that. How much of that was just weight drained and how much does he just not have enough left? Because the last fight was competitive. I thought Ben won the last one too, but I thought that last fight was competitive, right? It was a good fight. This one was not competitive, like at all. It wasn't even close to being competitive.
Well, here's the thing, because Errol Spence fell victim to the same thing. I'm not saying Chris Eubank he drinks or does things outside the ring that harms himself. I'm sure he takes care of himself the best he can. He seems like a healthy guy in terms of his lifestyle. But when you're inactive and when you stay at a weight too long, right, these things happen. So that 36 could be 46 depending upon the damage you did to your body. Those weight cuts, I remember seeing Dana Rosenplant. He was like 180 pounds. And this kid used to put a rubber suit on. He used to go in the sauna. And he would go on the treadmill, literally, 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day of cardio to make weight. And he constantly trained in the rubber suit. And he used to have to take sodium tablets because he had a sodium deficiency. And imagine on top of that, draining yourself like that. So the worst thing they could have done was do these day before weigh-ins. You got guys weighing in a day and a half before the fight.
We should go back to same-day weigh-ins.
Same-day weigh-ins, a lot of this stuff would have been eliminated.
People will go back to their normal weight.
Yeah, let them go back to the normal weights because, once again, when you try to fix a problem, sometimes you make what I like to call an overcorrection, in which I think this is an overcorrection. And when you make an overcorrection, you create another problem.
Yeah.
Create another problem.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, man. It's like, we talk about this all the time about the weight draining and stuff like that. if they had the same day weigh-ins, he goes in there, they make weight, and then they're fighting that night.
Yeah.
And that keeps it. But we talked about it yesterday. Why don't some of these guys get nutritionists? I don't understand. Especially when they have a giant weight cut to do or something like that, they're sitting there, they're cutting weight, right? Mike Dolce, go get Mike Dolce. He's out there. Start doing that stuff, man. Start looking at the science of it, you know? All those MMA guys are taking advantage of that, you know?
A lot of them, yeah.
And not that their cuts are not hard or not difficult, they are. But I've seen a lot of Dolce's guys, they're not starving, they're right on point, and they're right on weight, and they're strong. When they get in there, they feel good, you know? It's like they're not weight drained, they're not sluggish because they put a bunch of water on. At what point do you start doing this, instead of relying on the old way of just wearing rubber suits?
Yeah, rubber suits and
it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You're just cutting weight. You're not really losing weight. And as soon as you drink something, it's coming back on anyway.
And it's almost like he wanted to give himself an alibi in the first fight when he showed that video of himself wrapped in the blanket, sweating and stuff like that. And
yeah.
And even now, where he said, "Yeah, I've had a rough 2 months. I have to go away and take care of some things and blah 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 blah." I'm starting to, obviously, I think a lot of it was physical, the problems that were going on in the camp, because if you're going to the hospital after the first fight because of severe dehydration, then automatically, if you're doing the same thing again, hoping for a different result, thinking you're going to come out better the second time around, that doesn't make sense. Again, this was a money grab. I understand it was a money grab for him, but this is what pisses me off, and this is the selfishness of me. I'm a consumer of the sport. I watch sport, and it's like anything else. When you watch something, you expect to see the best version of that athlete or that performer or whatever. And he knew the moment. In my opinion, this is my opinion. It's not. I didn't talk to him. I wasn't in the camp. But I just say to myself, based on what happened the first fight, and based on going to the hospital and all the things that. You need to take a year off and just let your body heal. That's why they had to push it back to December. He probably should have pushed it back another 6 months or 8 months. Or he probably shouldn't even take the fight. Hindsight's 2020. But the thing is this: you damaged your body so much. Things you did to your body in the first fight, right? You did irreparable harm to yourself. You're not like I'm not saying life threatening. Obviously, I'm not trying to be over direct, but what you lost in that fight, you'll never get back. That's why you were a shell of yourself, because you beat your body up so much over the years, and that was just the tip of the iceberg. That was just the tip of the iceberg, because then you tried to make that 156-pound catch weight, and then you went in and you fought Liam Smith after you went through that camp. Your body is fighting you right now, and you're not listening to it. It's that simple. And then he say, "I got to go away, and I got this and that." I'm wondering now if he's suffering from depression. That was another thing that crossed my mind, because that's another thing that's prevalent now in the sport of boxing, is this depression thing.
It kind of, it's funny that you mention that, because it kind of looks that way. In a lot of ways, it looks that way.
Think about this: his brother just passed away. May he rest in peace, and that's horrible. Had the problem with his dad, right? Now he's taking care of his brother's son. And I'm not trying to get too personal here, but it doesn't seem like he really had, like Conor Benn's married, like he has these kids, he has like a family. Chris Eubank, I guess, is having twins now. So I don't know. Maybe he's having problems with the woman. That could be something he has to fix out too, because he's not.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that'll put you in the out of that. Yeah.
I don't think he's married. But here's the thing: like, Chris has never had like that normal life. It seems like he's never had that normal life. Right. That ideal life. Like no one's life.
How could they though?
Yeah, no one's life.
Who those two are? You know what I mean?
His life has been so dysfunctional, right? And at some point, everything just comes to a head.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. The guy's got millions of dollars in the bank, but he's not happy.
Well, you remember Anthony Bourdain, the chef?
Yeah.
Guy goes around the world tasting food, gets paid. Yeah. To go on these big excursions and eat crazy stuff. and he wasn't happy. You know what I mean? It's a disease, man. That's what it is.
You never see, and I'm not trying to judge the guy, but you never, like, you always see like Conor Benn, he has a family or whatever. You see other fighters like with their kids. You see other fighters with their wives and stuff. You never see this guy with anybody. He's always just by himself. He doesn't really have a lot of people around him. He doesn't have like a significant other around him.
Mm-mm.
Where's this guy's support system? He's been estranged from his father for a long time. Who do you turn to?
It's tough.
Right?
Yeah, it's tough. He's in a tough spot, man.
He's in a tough spot.
And, I mean, again, like, where does he go from here? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, what was he?
Money in the bank. Time to walk away.
168, 175, maybe, but he didn't look good.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe, again, man, maybe it's one of those things where he just needs another, he was weight drained. Maybe he just needs another shot to get out there.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we'll find out. But Conor Benn, what do you like? Do you think Conor Benn goes down to 147, or do you think they talk him into staying at going to 154?
I heard them say exactly what you said. They're going to look to hire a nutritionist and try to get him down there. But
yeah, that's a great move, by the way.
Sure, but I'm skeptical of the move back down to 147. I don't like it. I think you should go down to 154. I know you got. See, here's the thing: you got Vergil there, you got Boots there, and they're gonna. This is the problem, Eric. And maybe they know something I don't know. Obviously, they're smarter than me, but they're looking at the landscape down at 147, and they're saying, low hanging fruit, Mario Barrios, money fight, Ryan Garcia, right?
Yeah.
So that there's more money. There's less risk and more reward for them at 147. So that's probably that the carrot that's being dangled in front of them right now. And now is that going to be a false sense of security for him? Like, okay, these guys, I got Barrios, I got Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney's not a big puncher, so I think I could beat him. But are you miscalculating here? And are you going to hurt your body by going back down to 147? Are you going to pay the price for that weight cut? Because he looked lean, ripped, shredded at 160. How again? I'm missing something here. Please, someone tell me. How is he going to make 147? Hasn't been at that weight since 2022, and you're gonna this has De La Hoya, Roy Jones written all over it. To me, I hope I'm wrong.
I will tell you this. Like, who was it was remember Mackie Shillstone? He worked with Roy Jones.
Yes.
And who else did he work with? I'm trying to think.
Hopkins.
Yeah, he's worked with a couple guys.
Yeah, he's helped people.
If he can get along,
he helped Andre Ward.
If he can get a nutritionist along those lines, or like a Mike Dolce or somebody like that, I think he's got a real good shot at it. And he's already, the fact that he's already hiring a nutritionist, that automatically says, hey, he's serious about this.
He's 29 years old. Those other guys were like 35-ish, 34-ish, 35, 36-ish, 35, in between 34 and 36-ish, 35-ish. That's, the one bright spot he does have is he's 29.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but he is getting older too.
Yeah.
29 is not young, especially in boxing. 30 is ancient in boxing.
But it's not as bad as being 35, 36 trying to go down the two weight classes like Oscar and Roy Jones.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. On the co-main last night, Jack Catterall versus Ekow Essuman. 12 rounds, welterweights. Catterall beat this guy up pretty good, man. It was a TKO in the 11th round. This was he put it on that guy, man.
And this was the guy that beat Josh Taylor, right? And upset Josh Taylor, and Jack Catterall just dismantled him. It was
completely dismantled him.
Sometimes Jack Catterall is a very, very good fighter, and he's got a more pop than people give him credit for. Like, he can hurt guys. Just that sometimes he's a little bit reserved in there. He's not as assertive always, and he sometimes takes time off and likes to coast in the fight. But when he decides he's going to take it to somebody, and once he hurts somebody, he's a pretty good finisher. He's a pretty good finisher. He's a good puncher. He's more of an outboxer, but he can step in when he wants to. And he stepped in for this fight, and he wasn't afraid to take it to him. And it was a great performance. It was a great performance.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, man, and that puts him right back in the mix. Adam Azim versus Kurt Scoby, 12 rounds, junior welterweights. Azim wins by TKO over Scoby in the 12th round. A lot of hype coming behind both of these guys. I know Scoby had talked a lot of trash prior to, but Adam Azim really did well here. Knocked him out in the 12th, ended up stopping him in the 12th.
Yep.
So, and everybody's saying he's the next guy at 140. I think we're gonna have to find out. We're gonna have to see. But I know Turkey likes him. I know they love him over there. So I'm anxious to see him again, man. He put on a good account.
Yeah.
And that was it for this weekend's action,
yeah.
Right? That was it. So let's see here. Let's go to next week. Let's go to the schedule here. Maybe if I can get there. There we go. All right, the big one next week. Let me see how many we got here. 2. We got 2. One is on UFC Fight Pass, November 22nd from Long Beach, California. Mizuki Hiruta versus Gloria Gallardo, 10 rounds for Hiruta's WBO Women's Junior Bantamweight title. Nobody cares. Let's go to the big one here. On DAZN, another pay-per-view.
Fucking crazy.
Another pay-per-view, right? What is this? 2 weeks in a row, 2 pay-per-views. I don't understand.
Right around the holidays, too.
Right. Yeah, that's terrible, man. That is terrible. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, DAZN pay-per-view, David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde, 12 rounds for Benavidez' WBC light heavyweight title. The co-main, Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney, 12 rounds for Norman's WBO welterweight title. Jesse Bam Rodriguez versus Fernando Daniel Martinez, 12 rounds for Rodriguez's WBC junior bantamweight title and Martinez's WBA junior bantamweight title. So unification on there is good. Abdullah Mason. And that's all you need to know. He should be headlining because he's from Ohio, by the way. And he will face Sam Noakes, 12 rounds for the vacant WBO lightweight title. Vito Milnecki Jr. is on the card versus Samuel Noma, 10 rounds middleweights, and that is it. Let's break this down here real quick, Beeb. Let's talk about the Benavidez Yarde fight. We talked, Rafael's saying the card in Mexico. Yeah, the card in Mexico, the only one I know on that one was the heavyweight fight. That was Richard Torres. And what did he win in? Like a second round knockout or something like that? That was that was an easy win for him. That was a squash. So
squash, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde. I've said it for a while now. I think David Benavidez is the best at light heavyweight. I think he's not done at light heavyweight. I think he still goes up to heavyweight at some point. That's just me. I don't know. I kind of struggle to see how Anthony is going to win this fight. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I don't see too many paths to victory here for him.
Yeah, because he's kind of a in and out ambush explosive guy. He reminds me a little bit of Jean Pascal, but with maybe a little bit more pop. The explosiveness.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Yeah, he tends to fade a little bit down the stretch, but a lot of times he doesn't really. He'll throw his jab sparingly. It's not a bad jab, but he's not a guy that commits to setting up shots. Yeah. He likes to throw the power shots. Likes to load in. Likes to go in and out. Likes to try to he tries to be aggressive. But if you noticed, as of late, he's just seems like there's a little bit of the spark is gone from him. Right. Yeah. A little bit of the spark has gone from him. Some of these performances have been a little bit lackluster. And, I can't – David Benavidez is a guy where I'm trying to think of a style that could beat him because he's got a lot better defense than people give him credit for. When he's coming forward, he's slipping and catching these shots. He's really good at catching and shooting while he's moving forward. And you got a guy who's going to come in and out, and he's going to come to David. And if he decides he wants to go back out and reset and try to dart back in again, David's going to follow him.
He's going to get walked down.
David's got quick feet, so I don't know how he's going to. I'm just trying to figure out a way because he's not gonna box David from the outside, right? Because that's probably your best bet is to try to keep David at the end of your jab and not let him get near you. But then again, David
easier
can jab.
Said than done. Yeah, it's easier said than done.
He can jab with people too. He's got a very heavy front foot jab. Steps in hard with it, and he pushes people back with it. So I'm just trying to figure a path to victory for him.
And he's got a very underrated defense as well.
Yeah.
By the way, I mean,
his defense is very underrated, like I said, and I don't know. I think David Benavidez is a huge favorite here, and unless Anthony Yarde lands something big and just catches him, which isn't out of the realm of possibility, but
it's boxing, man.
But I don't see it happening. But that's his only shot here. I hate to be hard on the guy and give him. If you're an Anthony Yarde fan, and you probably don't want to listen to this part of the show right now, but I just don't see. I don't see it.
I don't either. I don't see it. I think it may be competitive for a few rounds, but I just see a one-sided.
Once David decides to turn it up and take over, like even when I looked at Anthony Yarde versus Lyndon Arthur, I just wasn't impressed. Wasn't impressed in his last fight against Lyndon Arthur. He just didn't look great.
No, he's never on the big stage. He's never looked that great. He just doesn't.
Well, he had a good couple of rounds versus Kovalev. He hurt him in that fight. I think in the 9th round, looked like he could have got him out of there, but he just couldn't close the show.
He couldn't close it.
And then he had some good moments against Beterbiev, but at the end of the day, it's all about winning. And if you don't win, you don't win.
That's it. That's the name of the game right there. Let's talk about that co-main here. Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney, 12 rounds for Norman's WBO welterweight title. This has been, I like Haney to win this fight. But there's a big but here. If, Haney, he has not looked good in his past fights. He just hasn't. And even his last fight, he didn't look that great. You know what I mean? And he won pretty one-sided. And he just doesn't look the same since that loss. He doesn't look like Devin Haney used to look. But
6:27 p.m.
Siri. But given that fact, though, I think that he should still get by Brian Norman. But Brian Norman is a killer puncher, man.
Yeah.
He's got like bricks in his gloves or something, man.
I'm going the other way with this.
Yeah.
And I go back to the Ryan Garcia fight. And Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, I don't like to put too much stock into the amateurs all the time. Let's get that down. I don't like to put too much stock into the amateurs too much. But these guys have seen a lot of each other. And Ryan did beat him 3 times in the amateurs. And they knew each other pretty well. Mm-hmm. Brian Norman, he has a killer left hook. And I think he's faster. He's more of an accurate puncher, and he sets the shots up a lot better than Ryan Garcia. And I think Brian Norman's going to stop him.
Is he going to be able to box with Haney though?
See,
if Haney decides to get on his bike and Shakur Stevens it, will he be able to stop him?
He's a boxer puncher.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to win. He's slightly favored. This is a tight fight, Eric. So no matter which way you go,
Norman is slightly favored.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Haney hasn't looked great. He didn't look good. He didn't look good against Ryan. He didn't look good against Ramirez.
Yeah.
I think Brian Norman is a sharpshooter. He's a sharpshooter, and he's not a bad counterpuncher either. But he can box a little bit. He's an accurate puncher. He's a guy that sets shots up. He's like a sniper. This kid.
Yeah.
And he can mix it up on the inside, and he can jab from the outside. He's got a really good jab. It's sharp jab, accurate jab. He's a good body puncher, but that left hook of his is a killer. And I think that's going to be the kryptonite, just like it was against Ryan. That's a punch that I think Linares hit Devin Haney with a big left hook in their fight and rocked him too.
Yeah.
That's sort of kind of been his Achilles heel a little bit. He gets hit with big left hooks every now and then, and doesn't always take him very well.
And they've got to be. I know they've seen it, so
Yeah.
Bellaface says, "Well, it was a no contest, not a loss, because we understand that."
We call it. I think he lost.
But he clearly lost the fight. I mean,
technically,
when you go back on a technicality and say, it was. Yeah, I get what you're saying, man. But we all saw him lose that fight.
Yeah, I can't erase that from my memory.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. So that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, I think, should win against Fernando Martinez.
Yeah.
And then I'm taking Abdullah Mason over Sam Noakes.
Yeah.
You like Noakes in this one?
But that's I like Abdullah Mason, but that's gonna be an interesting one. That's gonna be a pretty competitive one, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Sure.
I like both of those guys. I like Mason better, but I like both of those guys.
Yeah. Oh, I like Mason. Mason's really good.
Yeah. Let's bring in Ringside Robert here and see what he thought here.
Hello, guys.
What's going on, Robert?
Not much, guys. It's pouring down rain here. We got another atmospheric
weather
river
report.
rolling through.
Enough with the weather report. We didn't ask for the weather report.
I'm looking forward to next week's card. I think next week's card could be the card of the year. I think they're all competitive fights. I think Benavidez will win. I think Norman will knock out Haney. Sorry, Eric. I think Devin Haney's best days are behind him. He has not looked, and I think Norman's going to knock him out.
Yeah.
Abdullah Mason is going to be the new king. Abdullah Mason is going to be the new king in his division.
Where's he from?
That's how good he is.
Where's he from?
Ohio, Cleveland,
Ohio.
Yeah, Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, he's from the real city in Ohio.
Local boy, son. He's Titletown is Titletown, son.
Yeah. So, hey, Cleveland at least will have something good to cheer for once. I mean, what can I say? But no, I really like next week's card. I think it has the possibility of being the card of the year.
Robert, did you pay for the card yesterday?
Absolutely.
So how do you feel about that, though? But you paid for it this week, and then you're going to have to pay it again next week. And how much are the pay-per-views?
What I was going to do? I paid $47 because I got a 20% discount. So, what can I say? I was going to order both pay-per-views when I ordered the one yesterday, but when I clicked on the 22nd, it was not on their schedule of Friday, and I'm like, oh my God, did it get canceled? So I was happy to see yesterday that they promoted that it was going to be on, but I couldn't figure out why in the world it wasn't on the schedule when I went to pay for it on Friday. So, but no, I have full intentions on paying for it because I do think it's going to be the pay-per-view of the year. I think all these fights are going to be that competitive. I think I obviously picked my winners, but I think they're all going to be competitive fights. And I do think it'll be the fight card of the pay-per-view and the fight card of the year. That's how good I think it'll be.
You think it's going to be that good of a card, Robert? I mean, I don't think it's a bad
yes,
card. When you're talking about it, it's like one of those old Don King.
Look, I think
Turkey's the new Don King. I'll tell you that.
I think Abdullah Mason Sam Noakes will be extremely competitive.
That is a good fight. Robert.
I think Benavidez will win. But I think Yard will be more competitive than what people think. I think David will definitely win. I think the only blowout on the card, if you want me to be honest about it, Joe, will be Brian Norman blowing away Devin Haney.
Oh wow! See, I think that fight could have some competitive spots in it. Where I think Anthony Yard will probably get stopped.
I don't see Devin Haney getting blown out.
Yeah, I don't think he's
that way. He's going to get blown out.
Eric, the problem I have with Devin Haney is the last couple of fights, he has not looked like the real Devin Haney.
Well, who is the real Devin Haney?
If the real Devin Haney shows up,
the guy
the one that fought
Lomachenko
and
Who's the real Devin Haney, Robert? He seems like he's a Floyd Mayweather imitator.
Well, no, Joe, come on. You know what I'm trying to say. In my opinion, Devin Haney has not looked good since he beat Lomachenko.
You're talking about the Devin Haney, that fought the Regis Prograis. That's the one. That's the one you need to see, and you don't think that guy
exactly.
Is there
and
anymore.
I don't think that Devin Haney exists anymore.
Okay.
I mean, he should have he should have absolutely blown away Jose Ramirez.
Should have.
And he basically walked through those 12 rounds. You know, I mean, once you see something, you can't forget it. Like, he has a 0 on his record, but we all know damn good and well there's no 0 on that record.
And he knows it. And the worst part is
he
knows it too. That's the other thing about this.
Yeah.
Is that it doesn't matter what it says. You were there that night.
Yeah.
You were the one that got hammered that night. So he knows that fight, wasn't his fight. No matter what the card says, undefeated doesn't matter anymore.
Guys, I could be completely wrong here, but unless the real Devin Haney that most of us know shows up, I really don't see that one being competitive. I really don't. I think that could be the blowout of the night, honestly.
Hey, you know what? Hey, babe, I just thought about this. The guy, who's the one? Was it Omar somebody was asking about the Mexican card last night? That was a Top Rank card, by the way. Where was that? Like, what?
And they don't have a TV. They don't have a TV
where did you see it at? Like, I don't even know where they saw it at. I didn't really go look for it because it wasn't that big of a card.
Live.
It wasn't on Facebook Live?
That would be my guess. That's where they put the monster when he fought in September.
Oh my
God. Come on.
That's horrible. That's right. They did put him on there.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, and by the way, the monsters on the next Saudi Arabia card in December. Come on.
Everybody, they're saying Tubi. They saw it on Tubi. On Tubi.
Oh, that's even worse. Even worse.
Jesus. Oh, that's horrible.
That's crazy.
That's awful. How would anybody sign with Top Rank? That's got to be a breach somehow, right? If you're a Top Rank guy and you look at that contract, if you're promised any TV fights or anything like that, this has got to be a breach, yeah? Has to be.
That's right. Yep.
I would think.
Top Rank has not had a TV fight card since July, people. It's November.
That's insane. Insane.
And we're talking about a company that has been around since the 1960s, and for them not to have a TV deal, that's absurd. And yet you got TKO already got a TV deal signed with Paramount Plus.
Yeah, well, TKO is a pretty big organization. I mean, I would venture to say they're a lot bigger than Top Rank, right?
Of course, but Bob Arum and Todd DeBuff and those people, they're not stupid. I mean, what you got to ask yourself, what the hell's going on with that organization right now?
Yeah. Tubi is free in the U.S., isn't it?
No TV.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, Robert, we're going to put you back on hold.
I was going to say Tubi's affiliated with Fox, if anybody cares, but
nobody cares.
That's my opinion.
A lot of information today. First, you're giving us the weather report. Now you're telling us what the channels are. I mean, we have the internet. Come out here, please.
Oh my God. Let's see what he's got here. He said the same breach of contract. Ade Oladipo. He's got a picture of Debo as his profile. Eric, the same breach of contract for the TV is the same reason Ben Shalom just lost Ben Whitaker after losing the Sky Sports deal. There you go. And I mean, I think that's a perfect example of that. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't just put them on Facebook Live and expect to keep these contracts. It just is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, or putting a fight on Tubi, which nobody has. Or like, I don't know. Like, nobody knew about that. I didn't know anything about that. And I could, obviously I could have found out, but it wasn't even a big fight for me to find out.
Yeah, well, a lot of those top ranked guys, like I said, and I think a lot of those PBC guys, I think they're going to be shopping around, and I think you'll see a lot of them migrate over to TKO.
TKO is going to have a stable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even if they don't, look at Turkey Al-Sheikh. He's putting on fights with like everybody.
The thing is this, when you got a guy like Turkey Al-Sheikh helping you out, funding you.
Yeah, it's no brainer, man.
Yeah. They're going to have a lot of capital to work with.
Yeah.
A lot of resources,
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Beeb, let's get to the news and rumors here. This, we found this out, Wednesday? I think Wednesday it kind of made the rounds.
Yeah,
by next week it'll be made official.
Are they going to announce it next week, you think? I
would think so, yeah. I mean, we're right there.
Do you think it's done? Do you think it's done? Or you think they're just putting it out there? You think it's going to happen?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do because, it's funny because Anthony Joshua is scheduled to fight in February. That's coming from Turkey Al-Sheikh. All right. So a December fight with Jake Paul isn't going to hurt him. I wouldn't think.
Well, it's sort of like that thing they were doing with Fury when they had Fury fight Ngannou and they were going to have him go right into an Usyk fight.
Yeah, Jake Paul is no Ngannou. Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua.
No, I agree. I agree with you. I don't see I don't see a way Jake Paul wins that fight.
No, I agree with that.
I'm actually worried about him.
Yeah. Beeb said Dubois was a quitter. I agree with you. We all heard it. We all heard it. He was just out there and just took a dump all over Dubois.
You got to get you got to get some new material, man.
I'm just saying. That's.
Got to get some new material, man. I mean that's from 7 years ago, man. You gotta step your game up, man. You've been in this chat for what? Almost 10 years now, and you're still like saying jokes from 2016. You gotta work on your game, kid. You're letting us down.
Raphael 32 says Top Rank did a good job on Tubi, and the Mayor fight was on Tubi. Well, that explains why I didn't watch it. All right, so Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul. Now, listen, man. So Jake Paul said, he wanted to fight Gervonta Davis. And then the fill-ins were like Nate Diaz, still lighter than him. Who was he? Oscar's guy, Ryan Garcia. That was another one of the fights that he wanted. So for him to go out and take Anthony Joshua, son, that's a big fight for him.
That came out of nowhere, bro.
That came out of nowhere. And you got to think that you got to give the guy some respect. Aside from the fact that he's in Ohio, he's from Ohio, that makes him a champion already, right? Mm-hmm. But you got to give him some respect for you've seen what he was doing. You saw who he was fighting. And then he said, you know what? I want Anthony Joshua. And they're going to fight. And that's going to happen. You got to give him mad respect for that. You really do. No?
I do. I do. I have nothing bad to say about it. And
the fight's a terrible fight. It's a bad idea. It's a terrible fight, no question. But I think Dana White said it best. He said, when you tune into that fight, you're probably going to get what you want. That's
a good one.
That's a great way to put it.
That's a good line.
Yeah.
That's a good line.
Joseph said he heard Roy Jones was ready to step in there. I didn't hear that.
Well,
but
I got the call. I said no.
You said no? Well, you were training with Bruce Lee at the time, right?
Yeah, I was training with Bruce Lee.
You were training with Bruce Lee, I was over there beating up gorillas, and you saw the press conference with me and Jake Paul, so,
That was beautiful.
That's right.
Love it.
Beeb, for those of you who don't know or don't follow Beeb on TikTok, we've been sending each other TikToks back and forth of AI. So I was involved in a scuffle with Jake Paul on a press conference. Beeb's been all over the world, having women feed him sushi and everything like that. I love how every woman on there is like an Asian chick or something like that. And
listen, I love these Asian women. I know it.
Every girl with Beeb is always like an Asian girl. I saw him hooping in Central Park. He was doing like 360 windmills and stuff like that. Yeah. Boxing. So I saw one with Beeb and Bubba. You heard about that whole thing, didn't you? You heard about the whole Bubba thing?
No, I haven't been following that.
Oh, snap. All right, just real quick. We're not going to get uber.
Help me
This
out.
is just a real quick. I'm going to help you out with this, all right? So the Epstein emails came out this week. There was about 20,000 of them.
You talk about with Trump.
Yeah.
So, I heard about that. Yeah.
And it says, one of the emails specifically says, did you see Trump? Does Putin still have pictures of Trump blowing Bubba? All right. Bubba was Bill Clinton's nickname they had for him, right? That was his nickname. So they called. They had a reporter call, right? They had him call his brother, Jeffrey Epstein's brother. I think it was Mark Epstein or something like that. Mm-hmm. They had him call. And he says, no, I wasn't referring to Bubba, Bill Clinton. That's all he said. So there might have been another guy. So who knows?
They're saying Trump was giving someone a BJ?
That's the rumor.
I can't even picture that.
I mean, is it really tough though? I mean, is it really a stretch? I mean, think about like all the closeted guys like preachers and stuff like that who came out, they're paying boys and everything like that. They're playing like male prostitutes and stuff.
There was that guy, Roy
really
Cohen.
That much of a Roy Cohen is the one, his mentor or whatever.
His mentor was gay, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so who knows, man? Who knows?
I don't know. I don't even know where to go with that one, Eric. I have no words.
I don't know either, man. That's
I have no
crazy.
Words. I usually have something to say.
I'm with you.
I'm tongue-tied for this one.
Speechless. There you go. So you're picking Joshua in that fight, correct?
Yeah.
I'm picking Joshua by murder.
Jerry said it was a 50-50 fight when we were talking about it before.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Crazy.
No, dude.
He's gone, man. That's not a 50-50 fight. Come on, Jerry.
No, that's a walkover. That's 100% walkover, son. That's not even close, right? That's not even close, man. And I like Jake Paul. And what if? All right, let's do this. Benavidez a yard, Benavidez. Let's do this. What happens if the impossible happens? What if Jake Paul lands a shot? Listen, Joshua's been chinny. He's been known to be a little bit chinny in fights, right?
Look at Eric trying to make the case.
Right? He's been known to be a little bit chinny in fights now. Come on.
Okay.
What if Paul lands that right hand? Now I will. What
if I come home tomorrow and by coincidence Asia Carrera is hanging out in my bedroom waiting for me?
Did you take your Viagra first or no?
Cialis. I don't like Viagra.
Cialis.
Cialis is my brand.
I like Cialis. So if he hits him with that, I think I'll tell you this, and I know I say it all the time. Anybody over 200 can hurt you. I get it.
Yeah.
But he's been in there with top upper echelon guys since he was 19-0. Anthony Joshua, I'm speaking of.
Sure.
He's never had like easy fights and everything. I mean, as far as easy opponents and stuff, that's not usually his bag. He's got some pretty competitive guys in there. I can't, as much as I would like to see it because we're both from Ohio, I don't know that he's got anything that he's going to be able to do. And I don't think Jake Paul is going to rattle him at the press conferences or anything like that. Anthony Joshua is he's one of the best, man. He's a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer. Just to get in a ring with a future Hall of Famer would be amazing anyway. But I don't see much. I don't see much in the way of anything real competitive here. Put it that way. What about Jenny Sushi? Who was the guy? The guy that she sued or whatever? Jenny Sushi.
Boxer. Who's the boxer?
Who was it, guys? Come on, help me out here.
The heavy
Kubrat Pulev.
Kubrat Pulev. Thank you.
Yeah, Kubrat Pulev. He's actually him. He's going to fight for a title.
Yeah,
I read that somebody said. I think it was the WBA sent it to me or something like that. That he's going to fight for a title.
That's crazy.
Stop it. Just stop it.
Get out of here with that.
Come on, son.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Joshua has no business. Fight Doctor just come out and said Joshua has no business in the Hall of Fame.
He's not a Joshua fan, man. He's never been
he's
not a
Joshua
Hall of
Famer. Clearly a Hall of Famer. Clear Hall of Famer. That's not even up for debate, man. Robbie Louis 45 says Robbie is Joseph Parker's dealer. Let's talk about that for a minute here.
Yeah,
So
that's
Joseph Parker tests positive for cocaine. All right, in his fight against Fabio Wardley. Parker said he was shocked at the results. Okay.
he was over
Of
Tyson.
course you were shocked at
He
the
was over-
results.
He was over Tyson Fury's house. He's friends with Tyson Fury.
What is he going to blame it on, like a poppy seed bun or something like
Yeah,
that? I mean, come
God,
on,
Get
son.
out of here, man.
The cocaine, like how did you just manage to test positive for that? You know what I mean? Like what is the false positive for cocaine, Beeb? What is it? Come on, son.
I like stimulants, but there's a limit. There's a limit to where I'll go. And then cocaine is. I knew a girl once. She told me that she tried it, and they had to rush her to the hospital because her heart felt like it was going to rip out of her chest. I don't fuck with that stuff, man. So I've heard some horror stories about that.
Contaminated eggs. Parker with the early white Christmas.
What did you take it like? It got like mixed in his creatine or something. I don't know.
Right. I was snorting creatine, but it wound up being cocaine. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on, son.
Get out
The
of here.
best part was like, I was shocked. Come on, man. Like, just admit it. Admit you did it. So, I don't know, man. So, Parker just tested positive. He's got the dirty PP now. Now what? Yeah, now they're going to say, now they're going to do his B sample, right? Going to do his B sample. And that's going to come back to positive for cocaine. Because, you know, they take, it's the same, like you go to the bathroom and they collect the specimen. They divide the specimen. So it's the same specimen. So if that one tests positive for cocaine, what do you think the other one's going to do? It's the same thing. It's not like you did it on a different day or a different time.
That's right.
Parker was building a snowman. All right. Let's talk about this real quick, man. Jarron boots Ennis last week, and Vergil Ortiz seemed like that was going to happen, right, Beeb? They seemed pretty close.
I've been skeptical, and
So tell everybody what you found out this week.
So now you heard Vergil Ortiz talk about. I think I saw some footage of him on Twitter being interviewed, and he was talking about, well, I want the fight, but we got to deal with our managers and our promoters, and the money has to be right, and this and that, and it just seems like, in my opinion, and again, it's just my opinion, I don't think Oscar De La Hoya wants to put him in there with Boots. I don't think he likes his chances against Vergil Ortiz against Boots. That's my opinion. I don't think Eddie Hearn may be saying, I don't think he really has reservations either, but I think it's more Oscar. But even Eddie Hearn could be saying to himself also, why don't we just get a world title first, and then we'll fight this kid. That way we can have a little bit of leverage. So I like I said before,
he's already saying he's the A side. De La
Vergil
Hoya is already saying Virgil's the A side.
No,
this and that.
What I'm saying is Eddie wants probably Boots to get a title to try to get sway some leverage on his side. That's the only thing I could think of on Eddie's part. Then again, all opinions here, so I'm not like I'm breaking anything.
Did you see the video early this week? And I think it was, I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about Vergil Ortiz. He wanted to fight somebody else. De La Hoya had said somebody else. And he says, yeah, I'm not paying for that fight. He said, if you want that kind of money, you're going to have to fight Boots. So
is that what Oscar De La Hoya said?
That's what Turkey El Sheikh said.
I'm not a big fan of what's that guy, Rick Marizian, I think his name is, the manager of Vergil Ortiz. I've had back and forth with him on Twitters before. I mean, I'm not rude or anything, but I've questioned some of his statements because I tweeted something out one time and he replied to my tweet or whatever, and he's trying to like say something, and I'm like, come on, buddy. The problem with these managers is they're ruining the sport.
I don't think a lot of them really know what they're doing either. I'll be honest. I don't think a lot of them know what they're doing.
They're not real. Like, again, a manager is basically going to have pie in the sky ideas and thoughts and demands for the fighter. They don't sit down and cost out a show like a promoter does. They don't sit there and look at balance sheets and profit and loss statements and things of that nature. They're not accountants. They're not looking at that stuff. So they just pulling numbers out of the air, right? And to Eddie Hearn's credit, I do believe that he sits down and costs out a show and, has an idea and a projection of what the revenue is going to be and what's a fair price to offer the fighter. I don't think Eddie Hearn lowballs fighters. I don't think Eddie Hearn, I think he knows what he's doing when it comes to the money. I give him that credit.
And it's funny, man, because every time you talk about it, like you talk about a fight happening, you always talk about the two promoters getting together, not the managers.
Yeah.
You notice that? If that's the case, then why do we need the managers there? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I get the point. I understand it, but I'm not sure that what do they do versus what the promoters do?
Well, we talked about this before. When you're signing a guy to a 6-fight, 8-fight, when you got a guy for 11 years under contract, you're no longer a promoter anymore. You're a manager,
right?
You have a long term stake in this guy, and you're going to do everything possible to keep him undefeated and to make him profitable, right? So I miss the days when a guy a promoter would have a guy for 1 or 2 fights, maybe 3 the most, and you didn't have all this craziness, this other side of the street bullshit. And people want to talk about the Muhammad Ali Act, and I don't want to bring it up and go on a tangent about it, but the promoters are essentially managers.
Yeah.
They've become that.
I would agree with that. Let's go to 805, California here. 805, you're live.
Beeb.
What's up, Notch?
Beeb. Everybody nowadays, what's up, Beeb? Everybody nowadays is begging Turkey for money that they know they can't make on their own.
That's right.
So that's why American's out here saying he wants $10 million for boots against Vergil.
Yeah.
But I blame Vergil. I blame Vergil.
What do you think of him, that American
honestly,
guy?
I think he's good at what he does, but let's be honest, he's a snake oil salesman like a lot of these other guys are.
Yeah.
He's a lot like Samson. He's a lot like, Gary Shaw back in the day.
Yeah.
He's a lot like Lou DiBella. He's like all those other guys that are managers. They're literally going to try to bleed networks and promoters for as much money as they can, and they don't give a damn where it comes from.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Vergil wanted to fight
he's
Spence.
no
That
different than any of those guys.
That was the fight. He wanted to fight Spence. He called out Spence or whatever, and Turkey told him no. He was like, "You can go fight him." He was like, "I'm not paying for it though."
Yeah.
He's like, "You're not going to get the kind of money."
His manager had the audacity to say that Vergil should fight Spence and Boots should fight Charlo, and then the winners would fight each other. It's like, who the fuck's going to pay for all that?
Yeah,
nobody.
Right. Who's going to pay for all that?
Yeah, nobody's going to pay for that. So that just goes to show you, it's like nowadays, instead of blatantly ducking, that's what these guys do now. They just start trying to set up round robins and then start asking for money that they know they're never going to get in order to avoid guys.
It's crazy, bro.
It is what it is. It stinks because Vergil can fight. The problem is that his own manager and his own promoter don't think he can beat certain guys. They're not willing to take the chance. And, unfortunately, that's the way the game is nowadays, is that you fight for the most money for the least risk. So,
unfortunately,
hey, let me ask you a quick question.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. Dave, let me ask you a quick question.
Yep.
Is it true, because I've seen on a few other podcasts and I've seen writers kind of talking about it, is it true Turkey literally gave Devin Haney $36 million for his next 3 fights?
Oh, I did not hear that.
I did not hear that.
36 million, you just said?
That sounds like an awful lot of money.
Yep.
I can't confirm it. Then if someone heard that, I'm not gonna. I don't know. I
haven't heard that anywhere.
Where did you hear that from? Do you know?
I saw a couple.
You know any sources?
I saw a couple of people report it. Well, the only ones I've seen was I saw Dan Canobio and I think it was Coppinger. Both said it on Twitter.
Coppinger, if Coppinger said it, you could take it to the bank.
Coppinger said it.
Coppinger's ice cold. No. You don't even like Coppinger, so don't even try like you're on his side now and everything.
No. Since you got with
I told you, you was always ripping Coppinger, and I had to tell you, I had to check you to one time and like, yeah, you didn't leave my man alone, all right?
Everyone gets a second chance. I can change course. I can change course every now and then, please.
All right, Nacho, we're going to get running, man. Thank you so much for the call.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
let's see here. CN, thank you so much, my friend. He says, what goes through a fighter's mind when they decide to sign with clowns like Golden Boy? I think just an opportunity. Honestly, I mean, think about it. If you're, if you're an up-and-coming fighter, you're gonna try. Everybody wants to get to the upper echelons, right? But to me right now, you'd think who would sign with Top Rank with no TV or anything like that, But I think they're just looking for a chance. Now, why do they re-sign with the Golden Boy like Ryan Garcia? I don't know. That was just dumb.
Well, if you think about it too, like what champions do they have besides Zerto Ramirez at cruiserweight? What are the title holders that they have?
Who, Golden Boy or?
Yeah, and they slow walk everybody. And they like how come Vergil doesn't have a belt by now? Like why hasn't he had a title shot by now?
I don't know. That's a great question.
No.
And you know what? It's not like and listen, we all know Vergil's a great fighter, but it's not like his resume is stellar either. He doesn't have a lot of big names on there. He doesn't have any more big names than Boots.
I mean, he has good wins, but the names aren't big. like Madrimov and
that was it. That was the best fighter. The best fighter on his resume was Madrimov.
I would say yes. Yeah, I agree with that. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Let's see here. TKO. So we've been talking about TKO. TKO and Polymarket have announced a sports partnership. If you guys haven't been to Polymarket and what it is, it's actually a pretty fun site. It's billed as a prediction site, so they have all types of things going on there for betting, football games, basketball games, stocks, crypto, everything on there. If you guys are familiar with Kalshi, Bieber, are you familiar with Kalshi at all?
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that. It's like a different version of that.
Yeah.
And I guess their hope is to get more fan interaction and all that other good stuff. So not a bad idea. Not a bad.
Sort of like with the DAZN when they have the DraftKings interaction, like they'll show the lines from DraftKings. They do the live betting and stuff, the live odds and stuff.
Yeah, and then they show they show like who the fan votes and everything like that and all that.
It's so crazy, Eric, because for years I remember growing up, and we always used to have these discussions. Why don't they just make gambling legal? There's so much money to be made for on taxes and everything else. And now it's exploded like that. Polymarket, I think, works with the NHL now too.
Yeah, so, they work with everybody, and now they're with boxing and they're with UFC, and it's pretty neat. So it'll be like I said, check it out. It's a fun site, man. If you haven't been there, Kalshi or Polymarket, go check them out.
I like both sites.
Yeah, I do too. All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X at jhabib1. Find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporter.com, and you can find me on X at ringside73. And guys, we will see you next week.